Welcome to the Leader Lounge, where we meet with community leaders in Jasper and Walker County. I'm your host, Al Blanton, and today we welcome my friend and very special guest, Senator Greg Reed. Senator, good to see you
Thanks.
today.
Thanks, Al. It's a privilege to be with you always.
How's everything going?
Good, man. It's great. We're in Senate District 5. We're in Walker County, and my home, your home. So things are great.
New things going on from what I hear.
A lot happening.
A lot happening.
Yeah.
Tell us, there's a big ripple effect of, a lot of people around here are talking about a decision you made this week. Tell us what led to that decision, and then talk about your new role in workforce development.
Well, certainly my Senate career, I was elected in 2010 from Senate District 5. Right here, the heart of the Senate District is Walker County. So I was elected in 2010. I've served for 14 years in the Alabama Senate, which has been just a distinct privilege in my lifetime that the people in this district have seen fit for me to continue to serve. As a part of that, I've been in Senate elected leadership for 10 years, and that's given me a lot of insight statewide on things that are important to the people of Alabama, as well as in my district. As I've worked on a number of different topics that have been very important to me, kind of hallmarks of my service in areas of economic development and industrial recruitment, those kinds of things, workforce and job creation have been hallmarks of what I've tried to focus on. Several months ago, the governor of Alabama came to me and asked me to consider a new role as what's going to be the secretary of a new super agency that's going to be a combination of the Department of Labor and all of the training aspects of the Department of Commerce that will come together under new legislation that will be called the Department of Workforce. And so she's asked me to help lead that transition, and then middle of next year to become the secretary, the first secretary for the Department of Workforce. So certainly it's a bittersweet decision for me, leaving the state Senate after that many years and so many close friends and good colleagues, but another very significant opportunity of public service, one that will have an impact on our communities related to workforce and workforce growth and training and those kinds of things, but also something that will be of statewide focus. So I'm excited about the future and have had a lot of encouragement. The governor's been very gracious in the process of giving me a chance to move to this new role. So that will be official for me. I'll resign from the state Senate and as president of the Senate on December 31st, and will become a special or a senior advisor to the governor of Alabama on January 1st. Then July, that's the timing right now, looks like, that the new agency will be ready for the transition to finish and the new agency to stand up. And at that point, I'll be sworn in as the secretary.
Can we still continue to call you Senator after
Please.
January?
Absolutely. You don't ever lose the title once you're a senator.
That's right.
So
That's right.
I'm good with it.
I feel like that after this federal election, there's kind of a fresh wave of economic optimism. Talk a little bit about Alabama and how we're going to start, recruiting more industry and encouraging economic growth over these next few months and years.
I think that's a great question, and you can already see, look at the stock market and what happened when President Trump was elected. I mean, America feels like that there's a lot of economic opportunity that is on the horizon, a lot of resources that have maybe been on the sideline wondering what was going to happen next. Global economies and what's going to happen there, and security and stability. I think many of those things are very positive. So now's the time to be able to look for that kind of growth. If I list several things that Alabama's done, I'm very pleased with what has gone on to put us in a really good position. And it leads into the opportunity for what the new role is going to be for me. We've done several things under the governor's direction and under the direction of the legislature. From, we added infrastructure needs. We passed a gas tax. That wasn't positive. People didn't like it. I didn't either. But we have to have good roads and bridges in our state. We've been making great progress there. Alabama spent almost $2.5 billion of state and federal money on broadband internet access, especially in rural areas of our communities. That's been a huge opportunity for economic engines to be able to crank up and start moving, especially in rural communities, even in my district. You've had incentives that were passed under the definition of the game plan that was 2 years ago. Those are the most aggressive incentives in the Southeast to attract industry and business. I've been the vice chair of an entity for 3 years called Innovate Alabama, which has been focused on the knowledge-based economy, entrepreneurship, those kinds of things, being able to attract corporate headquarters and those kinds of things to Alabama. And that's been something that we've really been working on. You couple that with the work ethic of Alabama's people, the low cost of living in our state, the beauty of our state, the outdoor recreation that's available in our state. We're perfect. Everybody should want to be here. One of the last elements of that economic opportunity for it to continue to grow and flourish is workforce. You can have the best of everything, but if you don't have enough people to be able to answer the question for those that are going to invest, how are you going to guarantee me a workforce 10 years from now? If the state doesn't have a definitive plan as to how we're going to do that, working with high schools, 2-year colleges, 4-year colleges, the business community, industry, manufacturers, then that's going to be a problem.
And that's where you come in.
And that's where I come in, hopefully, and those that are going to be working with me related to how do we coordinate, collaborate, all this. We've got all these great things that we've done. Alabama's perfectly positioned. If we can answer the question about workforce development and a plan to grow and move that, then that's going to put us in a perfect position. We've already made some statistical highlights. For instance, broadband internet. Alabama's gone from 47th in America to 24th in 3 years. We've gone from 13th to 8th, according to CNBC, on best state to do business in America. So Alabama's moving in the right direction. We just need to make sure that we've got a workforce to be able to supply what those that look to invest are going to be needing.
Is it fair to say that Alabama weathered the COVID storm better than a lot of states?
Is
that fair?
I think better than any state.
Yeah.
We came out of COVID on opening up everything faster than any other state. And if you look at what happened with Alabama's economy, we came out quickly. We were hurt during COVID. We came out quickly, though, and had a jump start on other states. You were looking at ways for the tax base to grow and those kinds of things, which have been very positive. Couple that with an attitude of Alabama's legislature being super conservative. We've wound up post-COVID enjoying the largest fiscal surpluses in Alabama's budgets ever, even the point of rebates of taxes back to the people of Alabama, and spending huge dollars on education and capital improvements and those kinds of things. Filled up every rainy day fund, every savings account. Alabama may be in as good a fiscal position now than we've been in a long, long time, maybe ever, just because we were coming out of COVID, we used the resources appropriately, and we positioned ourselves for real growth post-COVID. And I think the state's done an excellent job doing that.
You know, we recently, both of us attended a groundbreaking ceremony for Heritage Industrial Park in East Walker County, and somebody described that project to me as, quote, a home run. And it was really a coordinated effort between several different entities, you know, the Walker County Development Authority, the Walker County Commission, and some state entities. What is that project going to look like? What is that going to mean for Walker County? And then what are some other projects similar to that might be coming down the pike?
Well, I think that is a home run. I think it's a great thing for Walker County. I think it's a great thing for East Walker. You look at that entity that we were at the groundbreaking where that new industrial park is located. It's 18 minutes from downtown Birmingham on I-22, pristine, perfect drive, no big traffic headaches. It is the next natural progression for Birmingham and areas north of Birmingham to be able to move. At that location, not only do you have the new industrial park, but of course the Drummond Company has a new development there called Heritage Landing. that is going to continue to bring more industry there. We've been successful working with the city of Dora on different grants to allow them to bring their water and sewer systems out to the interstate, to where that's now going to be available in those areas. So I think it is one more great opportunity of I-22 growth that's going to be super for the East Walker County area and beneficial for the entire county. I think when you see that, the elements there in East Walker, proximity to Miller Steam Plant, big electrical opportunities that are there. I think there are all kinds of entities looking at that area and the available land in those areas to be able to do all kinds of things. So I think that will continue to grow. I think I-22 will continue to grow. And I will mention to you what is going to be an absolute shining star for our community that no one in Alabama is going to have. On Industrial Boulevard in Jasper, we're going to have a world-class Bevill State facility that already exists that's machine tool and welding, best in the state, maybe in the Southeast. Across the street, you're going to have the Energy Infrastructure Center, of which that center alone in funding through the state that I've been able to work on and others, that's going to be a $75 million investment. That's going to be HVAC, weatherization, electric charging stations, broadband internet, all that training. People will be coming to Jasper from all over the Southeast to train on all those elements right there in that location. And then thanks to the Drummond family, as you're aware, across the street from that is going to be the coming Herman Drummond Innovation Center that will be the premier career tech education facility in Alabama. All of that is going to be just within a rock's throw. You're going to have an investment there that's going to be approaching $150 million in workforce development and educational development for kids from the 9th grade all the way to folks that are going to be training and retraining on some of these new technologies that are going to demand so many jobs.
Yeah, I didn't even mention private entities and Drummond's,
Sure.
when I mentioned Heritage Industrial Park a second ago.
So there are some, over the moon things that are happening in our community that we can be super proud of. Yeah. I'm certainly proud of the fact that they've been able to get started on my watch.
Yeah, well, it's amazing what happens when you work together.
No doubt. That's the key to everything. Relationships is all that matters.
Absolutely. My last question, and I guess I kind of, you're kind of coming to the end of your political career here with the state senate, and what has it meant to you to be the state senator from this area? I know you love Walker County. You're from here. You're a native son. What has that meant to you?
Well, just a great privilege. I've been able to build so many relationships, get to know so many people, have interaction with so many folks, because I have been able to be in public life. And I have only done that just because I asked the people of this district, in particular the people of Walker County, would they be willing to let me be the guy that would represent them in the Alabama Senate? And they've said yes for 14 years. And what a privilege that's been for me, and how that has opened opportunities for me to serve others. One of the things that I look back at all the things that we've done, different pieces of legislation, significant things, that are so important to the people in this community. We've just got through talking about some great things that are coming. But one of the things that's been such a highlight for me, when a constituent in my district were to call me on a problem that was insurmountable for them individually, and the fact that I maybe could just make a few phone calls and then return back to them an answer or a solution to their problem is so satisfying. And that's just been a great blessing for me. It's been an opportunity for me to serve others, to be able to do that in a way that, spoke a word for the Lord and gave me an opportunity to be able to interact with people and serve them. It's just been a great privilege for me, and I'm so thankful and grateful that that's been mine to enjoy. And as I continue to move forward in public service, it'll always be the example of whatever I do is that I'm doing it because the people of this community said we're willing to take a chance on you and let you be the guy that will represent us. And I'll always be grateful.
Well, I know I can speak for a lot of people in saying that we really appreciate all that you've done for this area. It's been a good run for the last few years, and we really do appreciate it. Personally, from my standpoint, I just appreciate you returning all my emails and phone calls and text messages. Not once did you not respond to me that I can think of. So I really do appreciate that. It means a lot.
Listen, you're welcome. It's you and I've had a great friendship, and we'll continue. But this has been a super opportunity for me in my life and the life of my family and my sweet wife Mitzi, who's been my support for 36 years. She's been right there with me through the whole process, and it's been great. And I'm looking forward to continue to serve.
Sounds great. Thank you so much for coming on. It's
you,
always
buddy.
good to see you.
Appreciate you.
For Senator Greg Reed, this is Al Blanton. Make sure you like the Walker Leader on Facebook, Instagram, and X, and we'll see you next time on the Leader Lounge.